Today I'm trying something a little bit different to pick my next read. I'm going to be speed dating my physical TBR shelf. So the idea here is that I am going to go down my unread books here and I'm going to read the first sentence, just the first sentence, nothing else, not even the synopsis, and whichever book, in my opinion, has the best first sentence that really draws me in and makes me want to keep reading, that is the book that I will pick to add to my spring reading list. So huge shout out here to Jamie Falk here on YouTube. She did a video like this one last year and I loved watching it. So I will link her channel for you as well if you want to check that out. If you've been around my channel for a little while, you already know that I'm on a mission to read as many books from this unread shelf as possible in 2026. So this is just one more way that I'm trying to tackle that. This just sounded like a really fun way to reacquaint myself with some of the books that I've got on this shelf that I may have totally forgotten what the premise is, or I don't know the author, so I've never read anything by them, so I don't know if their writing style is going to resonate with me. So I think just reading that first sentence and seeing what draws me in is going to be super fun. This book is going to get added to my March, April, and May reading list, my spring reading list, so I'll read it sometime in those 3 months. I guess at this point, April or May, right? We're already at the end of March here. So I'll be reading it alongside the books that I chose for the rest of that spring reading list as well. And I did that during my TBR jar video for the spring. So I'll link that below if you want to see kind of how this book is going to end up slotting into the rest of my reading plans for this season. So I think I'm going to go through and I might choose ones that I like totally don't remember what they're about. Like I picked them up on a whim at the library book sale, or it's been years since I purchased them, right? And I've forgotten why I even picked them up. So I think I'm going to be a little bit strategic here. I'm not just going to go like end to end through all of these. So let's go ahead and let's get speed dating. I am going to go left to right so I don't lose track of where I'm at. And actually I want to start on the top here because I am so curious why I picked up this Book of Love by Kelly Link. I believe I grabbed this at, we have a brewery in town that does like a book swap day, and I'm pretty sure I grabbed it there at the book swap, and I have no memory whatsoever, and I've never read anything by Kelly Link. So let me just get to the first page here. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is page 1. It might be sort of a, yeah, no, this is page 1. Okay, ready? A girl wakes up in her sister's bed. Honestly, not the impact I was hoping for. I'm gonna put that one right back. That did not grip me the way I was hoping. Another one that I'm really excited about is The Martian by Andy Weir. So let's go ahead and bust this one out. Okay, first sentence. I don't know if I can say this word on YouTube. I'm pretty much effed. Doesn't say that word, but it says the actual word, right? Okay, that made me giggle. That made me laugh. I'm actually I'm gonna put that one down here because that's a contender. I think that's a contender. Okay, 100 Years of Solitude has been on my shelf forever. I love Gabriel Garcia Marquez's writing. This book just really intimidates me for some reason. So let's see if cracking the spine and just reading that first sentence breaks me out of my paralysis with this book. Okay. Many years later, as he faced the firing squad, Colonel Aureliano Buendia was to remember the distant afternoon when his father took him to discover ice. I need to read that again, silently, I think. that got me twisted around. The tenses here, like that are used, are so interesting, and it's got me wondering like where we're at in time, because it says many years later, as he faced the firing squad, he was to remember this, it's very like chicken and egg sentence. That scared me more. I'm putting this back. That made me even more intimidated to read this book. Bummer. Okay, skipping ahead a few, I have Northwest by Zadie Smith. I have been wanting to read some books by Zadie Smith for a long time, and this is the only one I own a copy of. I've never read her writing, so I'm curious to see what this sounds like. The fat sun stalls by the phone masts. Very short. Not that intriguing. Honestly, guys, I'm kind of striking out here a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna go with Isabel Allende, Inez of My Soul. I love Isabel Allende. So fingers crossed for this one, y'all. I am Inez Suarez, a townswoman of the local city of Santiago de Nueva Extremadura in the Kingdom of Chile, writing in the year of our Lord, 1580. No, Isabel, you let me down. No. Her books actually usually take a while for me to get into, so I'm not super shocked by that, but bummer. Okay, Cantica, I have no memory whatsoever of this book. I don't know where I got it. I don't know why I have it. I certainly have never read anything by Elizabeth Graver. So let's see. This, the beautiful time, the time of wingspans, leaps and open doors, of the heedless headlong flow from here to there. Wow, nailed it, Elizabeth. Yes, ooh, that's beautiful. That was just very poetic, lyrical. That's on the list. That was a good one. All right, I'm skipping some of this nonfiction because let's be honest, that's not gonna happen. Let's do Cloud Cuckoo Land by Anthony Doerr. I feel like I've got a good grasp. I remember a lot of the premise of like All the Light We Cannot See. I have no memory whatsoever of the premise of this one. It was given to me as a gift, so I should get around to reading it, but here we go. A 14-year-old girl sits cross-legged on the floor of a circular vault. I'll keep that on the list. That's enough to make me curious. What's gonna happen next with that girl? Let's do For the Wolf from Hannah Witten. I have not read this book or this author before. 2 nights before she was sent to the wolf, red wore a dress the color of blood. We'll keep that on the list. That was good enough to make me curious. We're gonna do Immortal Consequences by Ivy Marie. Ren Lottie hadn't bothered to lock her bedroom door. Ooh, that's a good one because that makes me immediately wonder, okay, if she didn't bother to lock the door, clearly something's coming in, right? I am interested in that one. I am not going to read Shuggy Bane right now. I'm not going to read In Cold Blood right now. And these 3 are books that I wrapped up for a blind book date that I did, so I'm not going to be able to choose from those right now. But that's okay. Those are 3 books that I know the premise. I know the author, or I know of the author pretty well, and I know I'm going to get to those ones. I don't need any help getting excited for those. Let's read the first sentence of Anne Tyler, A Patchwork Planet. I've never read anything by Anne Tyler. This book was recommended to me by a Friends of the Library employee or volunteer, and I'm really intrigued. I am a man you can trust is how my customers view me. Sorry, Anne. It's not happening. So I've only got 2 more here. These 4 books over here are actually my husband's. So I've only got 2 more here. This is River of Gods by Candace Millard. And this one's also actually my husband's, but he didn't finish it. And I said I would take it. Okay, this one has a prologue. I'm going to read the first sentence of the prologue because I think that's only fair. As she walked through the storied gates of Alexandria in the fall of 1801, a young British officer named William Richard Hamilton found himself in the middle of a stunning tableau, abject misery set against the lost grandeur of the pharaohs. I could be convinced on that one. I'm going to keep that on the list. And then this last one to look at is The Lincoln Highway by Amor Towles. I have never read A Gentleman in Moscow. I know that's like an absolute classic. And I am excited to own this book and get into it, but man, is it big. This is going to have to be a phenomenal first sentence for me to add this to my spring reading list. The drive from Salina to Morgan was 3 hours, and for much of it, Emmett hadn't said a word. Pretty good, but not enough to convince me, that's for sure. So I'm actually going to just scooch some of these books down for a second so that I can put them back on top when the time comes. Okay, so basically what happened was I have 6 books that I was actually drawn in by. I'm going to read these ones again, try to narrow it down to like 2 or 3, and then I'm going to pick one. So Cloud Cuckoo Land by Anthony Doerr, again, is... A 14-year-old girl sits cross-legged on the floor of a circular vault. Yeah, sounds interesting, but it's not gonna rise to the top, I can already tell. Okay, next up, The Martian by Andy Weir. I think I already remember this sentence, but let me get to it so I make sure it's correct. I'm pretty much effed. Yeah, that one stays on the list for sure. That makes me laugh, and it was completely unexpected for a book like that. Okay, Cantica. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm not sure how you pronounce this title. Cantica by Elizabeth Graver. This, the beautiful time, the time of wingspans, leaps and open doors, of the heedless, headlong flow from here to there. Oh my gosh, that's just so beautiful. That is so beautiful. That stays on the list for sure. That is a top contender, man. Wow, beautiful. Next is River of the Gods by Candice Millard. As he walked through the storied gates of Alexandria in the fall of 1801, a young British officer named William Richard Hamilton found himself in the middle of a stunning tableau, abject misery set against the lost grandeur of the pharaohs. Is this a non-fiction book? Genius, courage, and betrayal in the search for the source of the Nile. My husband told me no, but sorry, now I have to know. Okay, so I think this is one of those situations where it's using historical, like, archived records, like for primary sources like diaries and news articles and things like that, to piece together a narrative that is not entirely true, but is based on like real events, right? I think that's what's going on here. I'll have to look into it some more. But either way, that was a bit too intellectual right now for the vibe I'm going for with my reading these days. So I'm actually going to go ahead and put that one back. Good first sentence. I liked it, and it clearly made me curious about the book, and want to know more, but just not the vibe I'm going for right now. Hannah Witten for The Wolf. I already think I remember this sentence too. It's probably a good sign, right? 2 nights before she was sent to the wolf, Red wore a dress the color of blood. Okay, it's good, but it's not as good as these other two that I've already passed on to the next round. Okay, and then last one that's a contender here is Immortal Consequences by Ivy Marie. Ren Lottie hadn't bothered to lock her bedroom door. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. That just gives me immediately like, ooh, I want to know what happens, you know? Okay, I'm going to read them all one more time, and then I'm going to pick. I'm going to pick after I read them all one more time. So, The Martian by Andy Weir. I'm pretty much effed. Just so solid. It's just such a solid first sentence. It makes me laugh. It makes me wonder why, what's going on. I immediately want to know more about the character and the circumstances. Next up, Cantica by Elizabeth Graver. This, the beautiful time, the time of wingspans, leaps, and open doors, of the heedless, headlong flow from here to there. Gosh, that's so good. That's so good. That's just really so good. Okay, Immortal Consequences by Ivy Marie. First sentence. Ren Lottie hadn't bothered to lock her bedroom door. Also so good. It's so good. Okay, I am going to pick, though, I'm going to pick Cantica. It's been a while since I've read something with like very descriptive, flowery, stunning language like that. And I just, I'm not as curious about the premise of the book from that as I am about these two. Like both of these ones, the first sentence really pulls you in plot wise, in my opinion, and says like, here's the tone of the book, and here's like, you're going to want to know what's happening next in sentence 2, right? That's great. And both of those definitely pulled me in. But something about the way this first sentence was written, and to lead your book with such a convoluted, flowing, beautiful, lyrical sentence, I think just really sets a specific tone for a book. And so I'm really excited to see what Elizabeth Graver's writing is like. And I'm going to go ahead and choose this. That really surprised me, actually. I don't even know. I have no clue what this book is about. Maybe I should read it now. A kaleidoscopic portrait of one family's displacement across 4 countries. I'm going to love this. I am going to love this. Exploring identity, place, and exile, Cantica recovers a vanishing history, animates a rich range of characters, and reveals how the female body in work, family, and love serves as a site for both suffering and joy. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited I picked this. I have no idea where I bought this, when I bought this, why I bought this, but thank goodness I did. I've got really, really high hopes, and I think if nothing else, the writing is going to be stunning. The prose is going to be beautiful. So Cantica, Elizabeth Graver, that's getting added to my list for this spring. Thank you so much for coming along on this little experiment. Subscribe, stick around, and I'm excited to give you all my thoughts on that one after I have read it further than that first sentence. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time.